you will learn that teachers, principals, families, neighborhoods, students, and whole communities have long tied their identities and their dreams to their education. School is a place of making meaning, and in no place is this truer than in Dunbar High School. In the beginning, educating colored children in D.C. was the private crusade of a handful of courageous white teachers. But with the founding of Dunbar High School at the turn of the 20th century, educating black students was a part of a national movement for justice and citizenship. Classically educated black pupils who knew Greek, physics, mathematics, and literature were incarnate examples of the inherent equality of the races. Their excellence proved that notions of essential racial inferiority were patently false. Dunbar High School committed itself fully to the radical mission of proving black worthiness by cultivating black academic excellence. Dunbar had stunning achievements and produced a startling share of black leaders. But Dunbar's story is not wholly triumphant. When Stewart's book begins, the performance of Dunbar's marching band at the inauguration of President Obama evokes pity and shame rather than pride from D.C.'s black middle class. The deteriorating physical plant of the school is a monument to decades of collective disinvestment in Dunbar's core mission. The proud Dunbar alumni do not exist, even as faded stories for the current Dunbar students. The legacy of accomplishment has been supplanted by the realities of underachievement. But even as it falters, Dunbar retains a spirit of struggle and an attachment to community that promises to see it through the latest epoch of reform. There is still a cadre of teachers, parents, students, and alumni who believe in pursuing the mission of exemplary public education for students who have been relegated to second-class status. There are just enough to write a new chapter in Dunbar's history, and therefore in the history of American education. There is no one better suited to tell this story than Alison Stewart. She is the child of Dunbar graduates and introduces us to this school with the passion and love that can emerge only from an early childhood attachment to a story and to a place. To read First Class is to glimpse Stewart's love letter to a complicated and sometimes disappointing beloved. Her narrative situates Dunbar in the long history of American educational reform, the ongoing struggle for racial equality, and the deeply personal history of a family that has contributed so much to the tapestry of America.
To my family. Introduction. First Class is a collage of memories, news articles, ephemera, interviews, research, reporting, and observations about one of the most spectacular success stories in education. The genesis of this project was a conversation around the dinner table. My parents were reminiscing about what a good education meant to them as African Americans and how Dunbar High School had shaped their future. One day, in early 2003, I was in D.C. for work, and I decided to go take a look at the school I'd heard so much about as a child, the segregated high school that became a mecca of African American education. Dunbar had produced doctors, legal scholars, educators, and civil rights leaders. Dunbar graduates had been honored with postage stamps bearing their portraits and had argued in front of the U.S. Supreme Court, changing history. They were men and women who had refused to let the disgusting practice of segregation limit their ambitions. Dunbar was a defining institution for African Americans of a certain age. It was such a part of their lives that Dunbar is often listed in the obituaries of its older graduates. Dunbar meant something in D.C. I had to see Dunbar. When I mentioned to a